Hello everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene, North American Snow Queen, and today we're going to talk, clean up briefly around here, about some things, and let's start with the most basic function on the basic thing. For those of you who have been keeping up with the issues regarding the drought condition that is affecting here the North American continent, I do have some information about the seriousness of the droughts. I don't know if I have the color chart. I don't, but oh well, the black and white will do fine. This is the latest chart from the National Oceanic and Administration, and you can see that right here in the North Pacific, Northeast, Northwest, this is really green, dark, this is green, this is really a lot of moisture here. I really do very well. However, you can see the rest of the country, except for a tiny portion here in Florida, is pretty much normal or below normal. New England, except for a small portion of Connecticut, or Western Connecticut, Western Massachusetts, and part of New Hampshire is also suffering from some drought conditions as well. Not as bad as some parts of the country, but certainly is affecting us. And that just gives you an idea of what's going on. I wanted to talk about that. The situation stinks, doesn't it? You and I know it. Now, as we look at the weather and we see that, yesterday we had some pretty significant storm activity in upstate New York, especially in Common County, which represents also the town of Elmira. Hello, Elmira. You think I forgot about you? Because Elmira was one of the towns I was considering to have relocated to, but prior to moving here. And is it camera level? No, doesn't matter anyway. On level or not, we're stuck. Okay. There was a lot of very severe, significant weather yesterday that had a strong impact. Lots of dangerous lightning. 3 people, including a state official, were killed in weather-related accidents or injuries in upstate New York. So I just wanted to, first of all, express my condolences to the families of these individuals. Again, this is not my season, so I'm just as screwed as the rest of you. So, here's the question I asked on YouTube, and I never hear anything from anybody. Some people do comment once in a great while on the videos, but why are you not talking to me? Am I doing something wrong? Am I not reaching out to you? What do I have to do to get out your attention and tell you, I want to hear from you people. Please, contact me. Obviously, these significant drought, as you can see, as I said, is going to seriously impact the prices of food, both for livestock and for people stock. So, therefore, we need to be aware of the impact of such actions. And also, the United States Department of Agriculture really has got to come up with a better way of dealing with the situation. We're going to be having very serious, if this drought doesn't end soon, there will be very serious repercussions for the wintertime. And already the Great Mississippi has, the water level on the lower end of Mississippi has dropped significantly enough. The barge operators have had to reduce the weights of the cargoes they were carrying to avoid their barges from running aground That means anything that is transferred by barge or by ship on the Mississippi, will be impacted because there will be more barges needed to transport the same amount of goods. Now, some of you people might say, well, what about all those of us who prepared for 2012 and bought huge stockpiles of food in 2010, 2011? Goody for you! You're not going to starve. Well, unfortunately for the rest of us, we're fucked. Okay? The droughts, several of the different communities, their county extension agents have said that the significant damage has already been done to many of the farming area soils, to the point that it will take at least one season to recover, at the very minimum, so that they can plant a crop for next year. Now, a few days ago, I did a video prior on that, very quick one, but I'm going to go into a little more detail today on that. Clearly, with the drought situation going on, and it's going to affect everybody in the grocery store. If you buy food, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit hard. Which relates to the second problem. As you've been watching my Facebook page, you've probably been seeing me mention the economy. And the fact is that our poverty levels in this country have dipped below that of the war on poverty. It was enacted since President Johnson in 1964, the creating of the Great Entitlement Programs since Social Security in 1932, I think it was, to protect the elderly. The different programs were created or expanded included Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, subsidies such as housing, probably more local programs such as WIC. All of these, unemployment, all of these programs are reaching their end of their productive life. And more people are falling through the crack as more and more people are running out of unemployment benefits. There's no jobs for these people to turn to, and families are doubling up, tripling up, multiple generations in one home, specifically to make ends meet. Now you add on top of that the raising costs of groceries, and you're really going to see a lot of hungry people in the world. And within a very short time, I believe, you're going to see the United States become more like those third world countries you see on Christian Children's Fund. It's really not very comforting to think that our country, one of the great bread baskets of the world, not the only one, but certainly a big one. The other ones are the Ukraine and China. It's this area, and dark gray here. This is our Midwest. I'm going to highlight this one here. This is the Midwest right here. Oh, this area. It's over wheat, corn, soybean, oats, barley. All of these products, the beef industry, the chickens, all these pork. Oh, let's not forget good old California here. Where do you think you get your wine from? Up here in the Northwest, you get your lumber, and you might get some produce as well. So it leads in all these people in this area are going to be demanding more and more food from less and less arable land because there's just not enough water to grow crops. When the soil dries out, it has microbes in it, which are essential to keep the soil healthy. They die. When they die, the soil is as useless as sand unless you can rebuild up the biomass in the soil. Now, clearly, that is not good for us because with less food available and more 350 million hungry Americans, and never mind all the other countries in the world that depend on our food products, are going to be demanding more food for less people, or for more people, but for less food will be available. That's going to have a very strong impact, of course, on our exports as well as our own domestic needs as well. Yeah, and this, the one thing I was going to say was Michelle's right. This situation is really out of control. What do you think is going to happen, in your honest opinion? I think that we're going to be seeing definitely much higher prices in the supermarket. Definitely a lot more food will become a lot more harder to come. There may be rationing because of limited food stocks. I mean, true, places like the major chain grocery stores such as Kroger's, Stop and Shop, Costco, Walmart will probably have warehouses already full. But the small stores such as Super Saver, which already is seeing a price increase in their products in the store. Now, some people would say that, yeah, but it's a small store and they're kind of expensive anyway. But don't forget, Loom, they're expensive because they don't have warehouses. Yeah, warehouses are, of course, the tool that gives us that buffer. Places like ShopRite, Price Rite, Stop and Shop, Kroger's, Edwards, or Super Edwards, you know, which I think now is Shaw's. These guys got big warehouses, big places where they can store food, so they can, you know, kind of weather a short-term shortage. But as they get more and more of the new stock in, it's just, unlike gasoline, it doesn't go up based on how much is sitting in the regardless if you bought, you know, if you're a dealer, you bought gasoline at $1 a gallon, and then all of a sudden OPEC says, well, are you going to charge, I'm going to charge you $2 a gallon, so you're going to try to charge $2 a gallon even for gas in your tank. In the case of in the food markets, it's more like common sense. You've got to pay more for the food that you've already bought. No, when you buy new food, you're going to pay more. But the old food you already have in the warehouse and the bins is going to still stay at the original price. So maybe you can, you know, amortize the cost over a larger number of months or years behind the prices. So maybe you can make bread for, you know, 75 cents because you got grain at, I'm just going to throw numbers up in the air, per bread. Let's say, for example, the grain costs you 20 cents a month ago, and now the same grain is cost you 30 cents for the loaf. But you still got some of the old grain in the bins, so you can use the old grain plus some of the new grain. So the loaf of bread can just slowly increase. It's not like gasoline, which tends to go up and down like a yo-yo. The price of soybeans are astronomical right now. The price of corn is up to about $8 a bushel, and everything depends on those things these days. Really. You're going to eat, and so are your livestock. So, but on top of that, we also have a mandate to increase ethanol production for automobiles. Yeah, I think that should be put on hold right now, because I think that we need to put more corn in our biological tanks and not in our metal tanks of our car. I think that we need to make some reasonable accommodations because of the drought. Especially it can be declared as a state of emergency. I'm surprised the USDA hasn't done that. Maybe you people should get in contact with the United States Department of Agriculture and remind them we need food for ourselves, not for your car. Lastly, I wanted to talk to you about something else today. I don't really like to get into the politicals of it, but I am going to this time. It's about a place called Chick-Fil-A. Now, I don't give a doggone how many people like to say the Holy Bible says homosexuality is bad and immoral and wrong and all that. I'll tell you something. This book was written over 3,000 years ago, hello. Okay? This book has been translated again, based on the pieces of scrap fragments of Aramaic and Hebrew and everything else. Paul, in his letters to the Corinthians, the Ephesians, the Philippians, Timothy, Titus, Peter, whatever, has particularly had a strong negative view on homosexuality, and so therefore, because of that, and women, I should also add as well. So, but yeah, here's the thing. The owner of Chick-Fil-A, what the hell a name is that anyway? What, you couldn't spell filet? F-I-L-E-T? Question mark? Okay, whatever. He has chosen to run his store among Christian doctrine. Why don't you ask this poor guy? Huh? Gee, why do people always misreading when I say be good to others? I'm a pagan, honey, okay? But I'm also very liberal. I can actually swing with the rest of them as well. I also am a lesbian, okay? Don't underestimate the power of true divine love. Now, I don't know why it's become such a political issue for a restaurant chain owner to develop such a, as far as I'm concerned, such a stupid attitude. However, apparently he's pushing this agenda in states including Massachusetts and the city of Boston, Massachusetts, said, we endorse gay marriage. Don't come here. Why? Because we don't like anybody who's going to try to push an anti-gay agenda. I don't think it should matter if you're gay or not. You want to eat? You can go there. After all, our money is agnostic, isn't it? Our money isn't gay. Have you ever heard of a gay dollar bill? Have you ever heard of a gay quarter? What is it with you people? You talk about stupid shit. You got a big serious joke. Oh, by the way, Chick-Fil-A, let me ask you this question. Where the heaven's name are you getting your chicken? From the Midwest. Guess what, kiddo? Your price of your food's gonna go through the fucking ceiling. Because this is the problem. Focus on the real issue. Gayness, lesbianism, it does not count. We got an issue of possible starvation. Get your head out of your Christian ass and think for a second. These people are trying, can you judge another person because of who they are or what they are? Didn't Jesus himself say, do not judge, or you will be judged by the same measure that you have judged them? Don't judge us, and don't judge the homeless person on the street, and don't judge the transgendered, or the transsexual, or the transvestite, or the hermaphrodite, or the albino, or the legally blind. It's not our fault. In this time, in this universe, one of the things that PAVE stands for is Pagans Against Violent Extremism. Okay? And that's another issue altogether, but we haven't even dealt with violence yet. Why are you doing this? Why do some of you Christian groups push such a horrendously inappropriately timed agenda? We have a problem here, folks. It's the fact is that within a very short time, when winter comes, if the drought doesn't end, there's going to be a lot more hungry people in the streets. Don't you think it would make more sense to focus on the real issues instead of some stupid dog and pony show over what the person is a gay or lesbian or bisexual or whatever. Wouldn't it be better to focus on the real issues such as the economy and the drought situation and the horrifically horrible summer we've had? It sounds so dumb. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is you people have got to focus on the real issues. Now, speaking of issues, we're coming up to a political campaign in November, and I have looked at several factors where I am a moderate Republican. I do tend to look at the issues and make my best educated decision based on the situation around me. Romney, you're out. Obama, you're in. Oh, that's a middle finger. Well, I guess either way you're effed if you do and effed if you don't, right? Well, it doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to say is, you have got to focus on the issues at hand. Now, there's a local lady in Connecticut. Her name is Linda McMahon. And she's running for U.S. Senate for the state of Connecticut. I am giving her a strong consideration of voting for her in November and, of course, in the primary in Connecticut here on August 14th. Because I'm getting sick and tired of these career politicians. I really am. I think that those guys are full of merity. I'm serious. They don't eat. They talk out their asshole. And we don't need that anymore. We don't need people talking out their assholes. Unless they're going to talk some serious truth, right? Your world is screwed up. Sorry. You got to be honest here. People who are talking the same old rhetoric over and over again in Congress, it's not going to solve a problem. There are other issues too in the world. But I don't have time to go through all of them, but just let's start with the basics. Things are getting bad, folks. I will tell you that much. I don't know what the future is going to hold as far as the whole situation in general. But when I think of the world around me, and I see how everything is decaying and falling into ruin politically, morally, and financially. I know that some people have been saying Cliff High has been doing this, Alex Jones has been doing this, and of course I have been doing this. And trying to discuss the things that are really, really whacked out. But one of the most important things I would like to remind everybody, and yes, Mr. Holmes, this applies to you too. James Holmes already was working with a psychiatrist and had serious mental illness issues. We don't know what they are, but clearly he has issues. Another man in Maryland was intercepted before he did his own acting out rampage. What's going on is that, as I said, the fabric of the world is starting to decay. And as long as the situation's decaying, we all have to be on our guard and be vigilant. There's no way you can stop all the nut jobs out there. There's just too many of them. Some people think me and Lumi are a nut job. Well, there's a difference. We don't go out there and shoot people, and we don't go out there and kill people, and we don't go out there and sexually molest people, and we don't cause any pain. We believe in peace, and we believe in working together to keep things under control. Yeah, definitely. And Michelle's right about that. But I will say one thing, Mr. Holmes, James Holmes, what you had done is beyond reproach. There is no way you should be allowed to see the light of day. Police officer should have shot you dead right there on the street. When he saw you outside, you already were caught red-handed doing the crime. She should have been executed right there, point blank range. Then that's what you should have been done. He should have killed you right there. You should have gotten a writ of capital execution. Boom, problem solved. Now you're going to cost the taxpayers of Colorado a lot of money for something that you should never have done. And you should not really ever have done it, but you did, so now you have to pay the piper. Because that was your stupidity and your lack of discernment. Discernment is when you have to sit there and make best judgment calls. Now, sometimes it's not easy. No, it's not. You really have to look around you and see, is it worthwhile to do this or should I do that instead? Now, me and Michele were trying to debate about a couple choices for lunch today. And it was hard because we were almost out of money for the month. And so we kind of just sat there and said, let's look at how much it would cost. You know, you've got $15. And you need to make that last for 3 days. And Michele said, well, I want something with substance. I don't want pasta again. I really don't want pasta again. Please, Lumi, I don't want to eat pasta again. Yeah. So I said, well, okay, what do you got? What are your choices for $3.50 a day? She said I could buy a slab of cheese, 8 ounces of cheese. Bad choice. Lots of fat, lots of cholesterol, but yeah, there's protein in it, and salt, and of course, calcium. But it really wasn't very healthy. Potato chips? No, we weren't interested in potato chips. Ice cream? No. Cookies? No. So we went over to McDonald's, and Michele got we got two plain McDoubles and a small soda, and it costed us $3.50, which turned out to be the same price as the cheese block. Win-win! We got more food for about the same money. Yeah, we did. Okay, now, the most important thing, all of these things that we're talking about when we say discernment, is just that. You have to consider all the ramifications. That's what we do in the wintertime at work. Michele is a North American snow queen. That does not mean that she can go out there like Mr. James Holmes and go out there and do the equivalent of with the snowstorms like he did with his assault rifle, his AR-16. Michele is very much aware that winter weather is just if more dangerous than an assault rifle with a 100-round drum magazine. You're going out there and you're making a snowstorm that could potentially help or kill. So you have to judge based on what is the best way to go for the weather, and well, how can you balance it so that people benefit with minimizing the casualties and the negative results. So Michele, of course, is working very hard right now in doing research into finding a way to establish a happy medium. Yet the thing that we're running into, Loam, is that the situation with the weather is so bad that I don't know if we can really be sure if we can minimize the damage. It's just, yeah, but I think that I know Mother Asna loves you, and I know that she loves me, and I think we'll figure something out. It's true. We don't talk much about Mother, do we? No, we usually don't. If we should talk briefly about her. Yeah, why not? Mother Asna is the great co-creator that works with Yahweh, Father Yahweh. And she is the divine femininity is divine masculine. Now, she's just as important as he is. She represents much of the feminine energy, the divine feminine in the world. And of course, the earth is her special, area. She also is known as Gaia or Gaia, as the earth goddess. She sometimes is known as Selena, which is the goddess of the moon. Mary in the Catholic Church, Sophia in the Eastern Orthodox, and many other names as well. Actually, the name Asna is a variation of the original Hebrew name Azra, A-Z-R-A, Azra. And she is, as Michele and I work with her directly, she is our spirit guide, our person that helps us to achieve the things that must be done and gives us advice and suggestions as we go along. And just like everybody else, Michele makes mistakes, I make mistakes too, but the main thing here is that Michele is working very hard to keep everybody happy, and it's not always easy to do that. No. In fact, as far as the food situation goes, I think that we are going to see some very significant shortages this year. Yeah. And I know that you've been praying to Mother and asked, if there could be some kind of a reprieve. But I think that this situation is essential to restore balance to the ecosystem. And I guess that's probably the hardest thing for most people to understand, and all the modern science and Monsanto and all the GMO crops and things that are not faring well compared to the more natural versions of the same crops. So I think that there will be some significant backlashes to this. And by the way, what other areas of the world are having problems right now with their crops and the bread baskets? China last year had the drought. Yeah, last year. Now they're getting rained on. Yeah, they're flooding out. The Ukraine is having trouble too over in Europe because of the same, or basically the same situation. And so it's not just the United States issue. Nope. No, it's not. So I think that we're going to see more serious issues at hand. Now, as far as the other people who are talking about all the other concerns of the world, let me give you a piece of advice. Focus on the important things. Any of the stuff that seems to be silly, such as Chick-Fil-A or Chick-Fil-A or whatever you call yourself, please, let's focus on the things that count, like having a meal. That's all we need to do. And don't forget, people, you can reach me, Michele, on the internet as well. I have a new email address. It's lumifinistra at yahoo.com. That's LUMIFINISTRA at yahoo.com. And of course me at Bichela3 at yahoo.com. That's BICHELA, the number 3 yahoo.com. Yep. And of course, you can contact us here at YouTube, and of course you can contact me at Facebook. And you can search for me on MicheleMarieDalene at Facebook. I'm there. And unfortunately I don't have a business yet. Well, we don't have a business for you yet, but that might change. That might change. But for right now, I think Michelle's got enough people dealing with stupid people keep sending her farm bill requests. Yeah, too many people. So anyway, that is where we are. It's where we're standing right now. It is kind of hot, and it's, by the way, the next few days, weather-wise, here in New England, in Winston, Connecticut, the high temperatures will be about 26 degrees Celsius. It will be humid, but the temperature will be lower. But because of the humidity, the indices will be up. Right, heat indices will be up, but at least it will be a little more tolerant, and we can easily compensate a little more with a window fan, and of course opening your window and get the cooler air in, and it'll help to make it a little more hospitable. So it's good to start. It's a good start. It's just we got a ways to go, and the weather. So, by the way, we want to thank you, all of you who have been watching all these videos, and even if you have not commented, you are more than welcome to participate, of course. And for all of you who watched me in Lumi's anniversary video, I wanted to say personally, thank you very much, all 99 of you. Yeah, and that was a really nice thing for me. That was the first time I ever did anything of some significance from Michelle. And we have, we're going to be out there for a long time. That's our job. It's Michelle's job. It's her vocation. As even though she's a North American snow queen, she also chose to augment it with an educational aspect as well. Exactly. So we have a lot more to go. Thank God! This month is almost over. It is the 27th of July. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's about 5 months. Four. No, okay, about 5. 5 months. It will be Yule. I'm looking forward to that. And Yule to Ostara. And so we'll just have to hang on until that time. And I'll keep you posted on the weather changes and events as they occur. She certainly will. Always does. She always sits there every morning. She's always reading the news. She's always getting the news articles out and posting interesting tidbits on Facebook. And so you can catch her there too. And so you all keep on reading, watching, and enjoying. Amen. And we will be out there. And may the goddess be with you all. Have a happy and safe day. And may your futures be brighter, better, cleaner, and everything else. And may your shit not stink so bad anymore. Why did you say that for? Yes, I wanted to. Okay, the point I'm trying to say is, I will be seeing you on the flip side, and I do hope you would take the time to reach out and touch someone, and give your neighbor hello. Say that, be good to your neighbors. And all for you, all those people who have, like, especially Christian groups that like to push religious intolerance, please stop. Because this guy didn't want that to happen. Okay? He really didn't. Why you're doing that, I don't know. After all, that's what he wanted, was us to live in peace with everybody else. To be good to our enemies, to be good to our friends. And also, help those in need. Simplify, everybody. Bye. Bye.